What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Alright, check it out, man. We talking the real problem with boxing. What is the real problem with boxing? Well, I've been saying this since I've been on here, and I believe these guys right here, everybody, look at them. Of course, there's more names involved, but these are the major players. These are the major players right here, and everybody like them. Sulaiman, he's at the top of the mountain. Cream of the crop when it comes to the scum of these sanctioning bodies. I could have dug out all of their pictures and put them up here, but I'll just get Mauricio Sulaiman, the worst of the worst, to represent them all, to represent the sanctioning bodies and these other guys. This is the real problem with boxing, man. And don't get me wrong, I engage myself in the back and forth banter with, this guy, this fighter, and that fighter. You can't blame him. And honestly, I think that we could put minimal blame on some of these fighters. You got to definitely hold them accountable to some extent, and some of them are definitely fully accountable at times. However, you want to follow or find out what the problem is with boxing, just follow the money, man. Follow the money. And the reality of it is, a lot of these guys that we want to see fight, a lot of these fights we want to see made, it's not about the fighters as much as fans think. It's not about that. These fighters are out to make money. It's about the guys who's providing that money so that these guys can make. There's a hell of a lot of fights out there. We all want them. We all want to see these guys get in the ring and bang it out. And, we go back and forth with the banter between channels, between, subscribers, and, just back and forth blaming this community, this group, and that group. And they're not the ones holding up the fights. It's the guys in the suits. You want to know what's going on with boxing? What the problem is? What's behind us not getting these fights that we want? It's the guys in the suits. Follow the money trail. You get a lot of guys that go on these channels. Myself, Mark, Mr. Two Hands, Punch Drunk Boxing, Blue Blood Sports at times, Blood Boxing. No matter where you go, Thunderdome, BDA, IBFP, doesn't matter where you go. You get a lot of subscribers come, he's not keeping the same energy. He's not doing this. The facts is, guys, look. The facts are, we do research. We look through these articles. We try to figure this stuff out the best we can, the way you guys do. And things change. You find out new information. Now, if you have any ounce of integrity, when you find out new information, if it's outside of the perspective you had, you must change that. Because the main point is, the mission here of Speak Your Mind Sports Talk is to deliver the truth to the best of my ability. My perspective may not be anyone else's perspective, but if I found enough truths, if I've done enough research and I feel that things are a certain way, then that's how I'm going to deliver it. Sometimes you may hear me say something different earlier on. Well, we found more information. But if I was wrong earlier, then I was wrong earlier. But I'm not going to continue to spit that just to prove a narrative or an idea that I had how something was going to work. That's not how we should do it in boxing, because we never get down to the bottom of it. We never get down to the truth. We never get to find out why we're not getting these fights. All of these different fights that we wanted so badly, why we're not getting them. There's a reason why we're not getting them. And it boils down to the money. Just follow the money. Follow the money. Everything in this sport lies behind the money. All of the obstacles, all of the hiccups, all of the problems, all of the roadblocks with these fights, it all comes down to the money. The fights that we all want to see, the fights that the fans are clamoring for. It doesn't really matter if they're the most competitive fight. It's the fight the fans want to see. And it always, and I mean always, comes down to the money. And who controls the money? Who controls the money that these fighters are going to receive, the purses and splits? It's these guys. These guys. And my mission here is to expose the truth to the best of my ability. Sometimes you may hear me beat up on a fighter or his camp or his situation in a deal. Sometimes you may hear me say, look, well, when it comes to this, you can't blame that fighter for that. Hey, call it what you want. Truth is the truth, and the truth hurts. I'm not going to bash a fighter just for the mere purpose of bashing them. I want these fights. I want these fights like everybody else want these fights. See two of these young guns get in there and mix it up. Not wait until they're in their 30s like Spence and Crawford. We still don't have the fight. That's not what we really want. I don't think any of us want that. We want these two young guys to get in there and mix it up. Mix it up now. We don't want them to wait till they're in their 30s like Canelo and Charlo. That's not what we want. Facts are, we want all of these fights. And we can bicker about Canelo doing this. We can bicker about Wilder 50 million, AJ 100 million. We can bicker about Errol Spence 60-40 with Terrence Crawford. AJ and Usyk contract dispute. AJ and Wilder and Fury being tied up, waiting for Wilder. Drawn in his boots and Virgil Ortiz, two prospects. We won't get. We can cry about all of this. But if you're going to cry about it, understand where the problem lies. What's the real problem in boxing? It always comes back to the money, guys. You can blame Spence, you can blame Crawford, Wilder, Haney, Teofimo, Canelo, Andre, Charlo, Fury, Joshua, doesn't matter. You can blame those guys all you want. It always comes back to the money. It's the way I see it, so mission is, let's keep pushing the truth. That's what we're going to do over here on Speak Your Mind Sports Talk, whether you like it or not. And y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.